and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street, starting with the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade. We'll also focus on the auto stocks that are buzzing amid the auto sales figures that have been released so far. Well, the markets and the bulls are clearly in action. Days high for the Nifty and the Sensex. It's a good start for the September series. Almost 1% higher for the Nifty. It's up at 19,439. The Sensex has also seen a move of 590 odd points. It's trading at 65,421. Among the sectors, barring the healthcare index, rest of the sectors are all up into the green. Of course, led by the sharp move we're looking at in the metal space, which is shining the brightest. Almost a 3% uptick for this one, 1.8% higher for the Nifty Auto Index. And you can see several stocks in the oil and gas space and the PSU banking space, small caps, all of them are supporting the market. It's the Nifty Bank Index that's really come up. Let's look at the Nifty Bank. It was not participating in the first half that much, but in the second half, it's picked up pace and the Nifty Bank is now up over 1%. You can see it's closely trading at near the day's high. Also, the financial services sector, the private banks, they are supporting the markets clearly. So all three constituents now firing away as far as the Nifty Bank is concerned. What we're looking at in terms of the Adani Group stocks, all of the Adani Group stocks are up into the green, led by Adani Enterprises on the Nifty Index. 1.5% uptick for this one. Adani Ports is also up by 1%, and all of the other sector stocks from the Adani basket are all have recovered from yesterday's losses for sure. Apart from this, of course, you're looking at BHEL as the top gainer in the F&O basket, and it's seeing a surge of almost 11.5%. And at this point in time, when we talk about the other movers in the F&O basket, you have India Cements, MCX. These are the other stocks. Steel Authority. These are the stocks. So you can see BHEL up, very, very strong move. 12% surge coming in on this one too. Let's get our guest on the show. Lavlesh Sharma joins in. He's the co-founder at Market Feds. Welcome, Lavlesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Good to have you with us. Your thoughts? A very strong move on the market. So we've kick-started the September series on a very strong note. The big question is, will this sustain?
Hi Sakshi, good afternoon. Yes, definitely a good move into the overall market and across the board as well, since the buying and the momentum is coming in from various other space as well. And this is actually a good sign. Specifically, at this point in time, the market is poised to move upward. Obviously, how long it will sustain is a matter of a time frame. But if we have been observing market take a
Sure. Okay. I think there's slight technical glitch. We'll get back, Lavlesh, on. Okay, Lavlesh, can you hear us? Can you begin? I think the internet connectivity was low.
right. I think I'm audible now.
Yes.
All right. I think the momentum is good. The kind of momentum we have seen today is actually not just Nifty, but across the board, many other sectors and space contributing to the overall momentum. As far as the timeline goes, we have been sustaining, or specifically, market has been sustaining 19,200 zone since last 2 to 3 weeks. And buying coming at this level and followed with the broader market participation, I think this should sustain 19,250 marks, a very short-term bottom in the indices. Going ahead, I think on the higher side, we still have an upside towards 19,610 to 19,790.
Okay. Let's focus on the auto space for now, because a lot of auto names are actually doing well. We've seen Maruti Suzuki trading at record high levels, so nothing is stopping it beyond the 10,000 odd mark as well. It's constantly buzzing in trade, and of course the numbers that have come out for Maruti Suzuki for the month of August are very, very strong as well. So you can see 10,325. These are all-time high levels for Maruti Suzuki, remember. And of course M&M, that's also shining bright in trade today. And you can see a strong move. Of course, the passenger vehicle sales that M&M has reported are to its highest level as well. So strong momentum coming in. What have you made of the auto sales figures that have come out so far, Lavlesh? And which is the top stock that you'd like to share from the auto basket with us?
Obviously, with the pause in the interest rate cycle and things normalizing, with that kind of an outlook, interest rate sensitive or auto ancillary stocks are the first one, probably where the money moves to. And obviously, this is the case. As you said, Maruti, in fact, that was one of the stock that was a surprise since this stock is coming out of almost more than 5 years of consolidation. It has been sideways since 2018, 2000, early 19. And since then, it has been sideways, and now it is coming out of that range. Simply indicates and further magnifies the fact that going forward, the smart money is probably moving in the auto ancillary and auto space. With that, as you said, Maruti is obviously one stock. I think 10,000 mark, if it is sustained, is going to be a very important support for the next few months. Along with that, as you pointed out, M&M is also one stock, though relatively it has performed very well over the last few months and will continue to do so. It has a minor resistance at 1600, but I believe with the kind of momentum and the volume built up in the stock can move further on the higher side to 1720, 1730. But the risk over here is that the stock should sustain lower level of 1570 on closing basis.
Okay, got that. Anything else from the two-wheeler space or the tractor major space that you'd like to highlight from the auto basket?
Yes, I do have one stock. TVS Motors is one stock, and with all the disclosure, I have suggested this stock previously as well to some of the clients, and I do have position in this stock. But I think the stock is in uncharted territory. It has moved way past of 1370, 1380 kind of zones. That's where the resistance was, and it was under this resistance since June and entire August, I guess. In the last 2 days, the stock has seen a very good momentum. I think if you have that kind of a view where you are holding a position for next 3 months, I think TVS Motors is one stock where you can look at. And 1370 is probably the best point of your support. On the upside, I would suggest you to have a bigger view, and you can hold on to this stock for a minimum return of 10 to 15%. But that comes with a time period of at least 3 months.
Okay. The most recent numbers that have come in from the commercial vehicles major Ashok Leyland, the total sales have seen an increase of 10% for the month of August. It's come in at 15,576 units as compared to 14,121 units. Remember, these are the total sales. For the medium and heavy commercial vehicles, the units sold are again an uptick from the previous year's August month. 9,763. The LCV sales have come in at 5,813. So all these three segments have reported an uptick vis-a-vis year-on-year basis. How do you look at Ashok Leyland? It's still an affordable counter at 184 comparing to the other auto majors that are listed on the exchanges. Although this stock really wakes up from sleep after a long time, has its own cyclicality that functions. Your own thoughts on Ashok Leyland right now?
Yes, due to its cyclicality and due to its, mean reversion kind of a nature, I think Ashok Leyland is a portfolio pick rather than a trading pick. I probably suggested this stock at 168, 170. I do have exposure to this stock.
Mm-hmm.
This 168, 170 is going to be a very long-term support if this stock continues above 174. I think on the higher side, over a period of next 1 year or so, this stock has a potential target of around 250. But given that period, the risk from here is only till 170. If this stock breaks down below back to 170, I think the game's over. But as long as this stock is above 170, I think this is going to be a very strong support for next few months. The upside projections are quite high, but with the kind of that kind of a projection, I think the time period also expands to more than at least a year for it to achieve that level.
Okay, Lavlesh, I wanted to also ask you on the suppliers or the auto ancillaries as well. Apart from the auto space where one can get a direct exposure, how does one play this entire sector through the ancillary space? Maybe the EV providers, the battery makers, important and critical part makers. How does one really play that story?
Right, I think there are two aspects to it, to be honest, Sakshi. If one is looking at EV play, obviously what they are looking at is discounting a theme. Now, this particular theme is going to be played out over the next decade. So you need to have that kind of a patience and you need to have that kind of a view where you can contribute or add stocks to the portfolio, and this whole EV thing would contribute to maximize your return. That is going to happen over a period of a very long run. And during this entire period, what you may see is a cycle of boom bust or cycle of high interest rates to low interest rates, which is going to affect auto ancillary and auto space, given the fact they are interest rate sensitive stocks.
Got it.
Right. So that is one thing. Another thing is probably look at very short term play where stocks are outperforming. Say, for example, last few months, given August itself, auto and auto ancillary space have seen a good momentum. But if you look at entire play, I think auto stocks specifically have gained and outperformed when some of the auto ancillary or auto parts, stocks which contribute to this whole equation. So these are the two things. For the past few months, we have seen auto stocks. Going forward, when we see a relative momentum in the auto ancillary and these stocks, subsector of the entire big picture, then we may take a judgment. For now, I think auto stocks, specifically the large cap, are going to lead for next few months.
Okay, large caps are going to lead over the next few months. Okay. Apart from the auto space, we've discussed most of the sectors and segments and stocks that one can really bet on as far as the auto space is concerned. The other big moving sector today is the metal space, and we are seeing most of these stocks, moving up even 4, 5, 6, 7 odd percent in trade today, especially the ones that rarely make their appearance. SAIL is up by 6.5% today in trade. Of course, we've seen a high of 97.5 in today's trading session. NMDC, Hindustan Copper has been on an uptrend for a long time now. Nalco, that's up by about 4.5%. Tata Steel, JSW Steel. How are you looking at the move in the metals basket today? Is this something that you believe that one can track for short to medium term or maybe even long term?
But definitely, what we have seen is certainly added momentum when we talk about Nifty metal and specifically metal stocks that has come to picture. Though still, given the fact there are certain stocks from this space which are underperforming, if I pinpoint and zone in on the kind of stocks, most are public sector enterprises as well, what we have named, and obviously they are adding a lot to the overall equation. So, metal space coupled with if it's a PSC stocks, I think there is a relative outperformance. There is a broader volume that is flowing into public sector enterprises in the last few days, and they are outperforming. So, rather than like, for example, the conventional leaders in the metal space, what we are looking at is SAIL, stock like SAIL or National Aluminium Nalco, probably over a certain period of time has added more. So I guess yes, this is like a short-term momentum over the past few days. But if you one has to take a bet in specifically metal stakes, then I would recommend for the stocks like National Aluminium or SAIL rather than going for some private stocks in the sector.
Okay, understood that. One more stock I'll bring to your notice, and that is BHEL, like we were pointing out. 12.5% of a very strong move. Top gainer in the FNO space. How are you looking at BHEL? Of course, in the last few months, it has had a play on the defense pack, the way the defense theme has been running, and of course, the capital goods space. That since the beginning of this year, from the time the budgetary announcements were made, this was one sector that was coming up in most of the analysts' preferences, capital goods as a theme for this entire space, and BHEL is definitely one of the top performers there. Despite this kind of a run up and the strong move, is this still a buy at 136?
Definitely yes, Sakshi. Things have been quite positive for BHEL since the start of 2023 and late 2022. With the kind of government policies and government expansion coming in, and with all the ISRO and space research kind of stocks gaining momentum, then obviously capital goods gaining the traction, and BHEL is the one of the direct impact of it, that it has seen the momentum. Important point to note here is that on a very short term to long term, the three important critical averages which define the overall trend, like 20, 50, and the 100 moving average for BHEL, has turned positive since late October 2022. As we speak, all the three moving averages are positive on rolling basis. So this exemplifies the fact that not just in short, but in the mid to long term scale as well, this stock is going to be positive. And I don't see any resistance in the stock with the kind of momentum it has gained today. Obviously, 12% up, it's not the kind of risk reward where it fits. But if you have that kind of a view where you can take position and hold for the rest of the financial year, or probably rest of the year of 2023, I think the next stop for this stock is at 180 to 175. So yes, a lot of upside with limited downside in this stock.
Okay, 170 by 180 still looks very, very promising upside with limited downside at this point in time. Thank you very much, Lavlesh, for being with us on the show and discussing all these stocks and the strategies on all of these pockets as well for all our viewers. Markets running strong. Now, at the day's high level, 545 points higher on the Sensex. It's up at 65,373. The Nifty also 185 points higher in trade at 19,436 at this point in time. Clearly, the Nifty Auto is at record high levels and is buzzing in trade. The Nifty Metal space shining the brightest, 3% higher in trade. PSU banks, oil and gas, all of these spaces are really looking for, letting the markets to feel good at the beginning of a new series and a new month as well. Again, the big question, like I said, will the momentum really sustain all through and through, or will the Nifty volatility, will the market volatility that was largely a talk of the town in the month of August cast a shadow over September as well? That's something that we will continue to watch out for. But do track all the market move with us on Business Today TV. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also engage with us on our other social media platforms as well. What you can also do is get ready for our special series, that's Market Masters, where market gurus reveal their investment strategies for a winning portfolio. Join us on this coming Monday, that's 4th of September, with Tahir Batra, President CIO, Invesco Mutual Fund, to get his market insights and in-depth market analysis. You can also send us your queries on this number, that's 730-308-0488, and questions will be taken live.
A platform for global allies and rivals to meet.